This is a Fox News alert just moments away now from an important White House meeting between several key Hispanic leaders and President Obama. The lawmakers are appealing to the president to make a new push for a controversial immigration bill known as the DREAM Act. Speaker Pelosi has said she would like to see a vote in the House this week. But the question now, why immigration reform and not the tax cuts or the Pentagon appropriations or even a federal budget we might need for the next fiscal year for that matter? Let's talk about it. Mike Gallagher is a syndicated talk radio host and a Fox News contributor. Bernard Whitman is a former pollster to President Clinton. Gentlemen, welcome to you both.
Thank you. Hey, Shannon.
Bernard, why is this a priority in this lame duck? We have such a short time, and we don't even have a budget for next year.
Well, I think it is a common sense piece of legislation that absolutely is in spirit with the American dream. I mean, this would give a path to citizenship for those young Americans who have struggled against all odds to actually make it through college, serve in the military, and give them a rightful place in our society. Now, having said that, this is a bill with bipartisan support. It absolutely should pass. It should be the law of the land. But I do absolutely believe that it's going to fall victim to the legislative calendar. We've got 28 days left in this session, and even though I do support the bill, we have more pressing pieces of legislation around the defense appropriations bill, including a repeal of Don't Ask, Don't Tell. We got to deal with the Bush-era tax cuts. We got to extend unemployment benefits. My guess is this legislation, unfortunately, does not see the light of day.
But they're still talking about it. They got this meeting today, Mike, at the White House where they're going to press for it. Does it rocket ahead of tax cuts that affect every American or the budget?
Bernard uses the phrase path to citizenship. The road to hell is paved with great intentions. I mean, this is may this be a priority for the Democrats, because like Speaker Pelosi being a symbol of what's wrong with the left, this DREAM Act, which is really a nightmare, is everything that's wrong with what these people want to do. Yesterday, the California State Supreme Court made California turn them into the first state where illegals are going to get in-state tuition benefits. So I guess when Lindsey Graham, the senator from South Carolina, talks about illegals getting to the back of the line, I don't think this is what he means. Where now illegals in California are going to pay up to $23,000 a year less than my kid or your kid someday who wants to go to college in California if they don't happen to be an in-state resident. I believe with all of my heart that in all of the body politic, this illegal immigration disaster is the big issue. And the candidates who in 2012 who wrapped their arms around this are going to win. We're sick of illegals getting ahead of the line. We're sick of this DREAM Act that gives benefits to the children and to the illegals themselves. It's time to go back to law-abiding citizenship and knock this out of the park. I mean, it's a no-brainer.
All right, Bernard, we know you feel differently about this, but Mike mentions 2012, so let's talk about that. I mean, is the push for the DREAM Act so heavy right now in this lame duck? Because the numbers are going to change in January, and they may change again in 2012. I mean, is this the Democrats' best chance and supporters of this act to get it through now?
The Democrats, I think it's actually the Republicans' best hope as well. I mean, crazy radicals like Orrin Hatch has been one of the key sponsors of this bill. Dick Lugar is a sponsor of the bill. John McCain has expressed support for this. I will tell you this, Mike. Go ahead and beat up on children of illegal immigrants. You will end up costing your own defeat. Why? George Bush tried desperately for immigration reform, failed at it, got 44% of the vote in 2004. John McCain got 31% of the vote. Your congressional Republicans in a rout this year got about 31% of the vote. If you cannot find a bipartisan approach to at least beginning to solve the immigration problem by granting citizenship to those children who came when their parents did, who are going to school, who are serving and giving their lives
Many of those
in our
children,
military, you are going to fail at the ballot box.
Baloney. You guys are going to stub your toe on this in a big way, and I hope you bring it on. I hope you guys make this a centerpiece of the Democratic Party agenda, because if you do, you're going to fall on your face. You don't hear the rage, Bernard, that I hear north, south, east, and west from listeners who are fed up with giving opportunities to illegals ahead of American citizens. Go ahead, Bernard. I want you to justify, I want you to defend right here and right now that an illegal in California gets to pay $23,000 a year less than an American citizen from another state to go to college there? Are you kidding me?
But that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about giving children of illegal immigrants an opportunity
to
citizenship once they've served in the military or gone to college to become productive members of society. I'm telling you, this is exactly exposes the lie that the Republicans are, because they have no interest in forging bipartisan consensus on any issue. Ultimately, the voters are going to wake up in 2012 and say, you know what? We gave these people a chance. They have no desire to cooperate on any piece of legislation, even a common sense approach like
woke up in the
midterm.
midterm.
You will be thrown out of office
the voters,
once again.
really? You guys, it's interesting coming from a Democrat after what we saw a week before last. You guys got your butts kicked over an issue like this, and you're going to get kicked again in 2012. I'm telling you, I hope you make it an important issue because you guys don't get it. And I admit, a lot of Republicans don't get it too. There are Republicans like John McCain who are clueless about the passion and the rage and the anger that people feel about illegals getting privileges and opportunities and benefits. It's got to stop.
Right,
the voice of the far right.
Mainstream America.
You mentioned butt kicking, you mentioned outrage, but there's going to be a meeting today at the White House between the president and Hispanic lawmakers. Bernard, is he going to get a butt kicking in there because they expect something? And House Speaker Nancy Pelosi wants to get this passed too. I mean, do they owe this particular segment of their base?
I think actually they owe it not to the base, but they owe it to these people. I mean, I believe that the DREAM Act is the most common sense, incremental first step towards beginning to have a conversation and a solution to immigration reform in this country. Having said that, I look at the calendar. I would have loved to have this debate in the fall. If we had debate in the fall, frankly, I think the Republicans who had jumped on board could have benefited from it. And Harry Reid actually may not be returned as majority leader.
But where do you want to end it, Bernard? You guys talk about starting the conversation. Why don't you take a moment and finish the dialogue? How do you want to see this play out? Do you want amnesty given to all illegals? Do you guys want a border? Do you guys want illegal immigration laws enforced or not?
If we kicked out all the illegal immigrants who are in this country, you wouldn't be able to go to a restaurant, you wouldn't be able to go to a building that is clean, you would not be able to function in today's society.
So your answer
no,
is you don't want illegal immigration
incremental, common sense, rational approaches.
What's that mean?
Put up a fence, keep everybody out, and those who are here, kick them out.
The
will not work.
Laws of the land.
We are a nation of immigrants, and we ought to continue to be one.
We're a nation of laws.
I can see we're going to reach no consensus here, so we're going to leave it with agreeing to disagree.
Okay.
Gentlemen, great to have you both.
Thanks, Shannon. Take care.